of Deuteronomy, "Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one." So according to this, there's a sole deity in the universe, but all around us are people of a variety of beliefs, faiths, and traditions, claiming different truths about this God. In the Christian faith, there's a teaching called the Trinity. It's the belief of one God in three persons, the Father and the Son and the Spirit, and it's often argued that this is foundational to understanding who God is. So what do we do with this view of God amongst all the other views? Recently, there's been an emergence of two issues directly related to the Christian church. One is the revival of the doctrine of the Trinity and how it relates to other religions. The other is the concern and questions of how Christians are to live with people of other beliefs. This Christian interaction with other faiths, referred to as the theology of religion, historically has been dealt with on the basis of salvation. There's this man named Veli-Matti Karkkainen, and he wrote this book called Trinity and Religious Pluralism. In this book, the author uses the Trinity as a platform on which to discuss and formulate the theology of religions. In this book, Karkkainen presents and critiques the different stances of influential theologians in the modern church. In doing so, he presumes that the Trinity is a structuring principle of Christian theology, that it's not divorced from history, is divine community, and can only be known through God revealing himself to humankind. Karkkainen first provides the reader with grounds for the Trinity through the eyes of Karl Barth, one of the more recent theologians who aided in the revival of the doctrine of the Trinity. Barth provides Trinitarian perspectives that are exclusive to that of Christianity. The strengths of believing that there is only one way to God, or being an exclusivist, is that the parameters of doctrine of knowing God are very narrow and clear. Because of this narrow scope of belief, the systems that are within it are easy to defend. But the downside of this position is that this view is very exclusive and leaves no common ground for dialogue with those of other faiths. Continuing on, Karkkainen then discusses the thoughts of five inclusive theologians who attempt to use the doctrine of the Trinity as a means to dialogue with other religions and to affirm their value. The Roman Catholic perspective of Karl Rahner, Jacques Dupuy, and Gavin DaCosta describe how the triune God reveals himself to people of other faiths in the world, which results in them being included in the family of God. To this note, Karkkainen summarizes the thought of DaCosta on page 74, as, quote, "In the discerning what the Spirit is doing in other religions, the Church may find true Christ-like practice in the other, which, as long as it really is Christ-like, can only be brought about by the Spirit." The Protestants, Wolfhart, Pannenberg, and Clark Pinnock, focus more on the necessity of Jesus, while God can still be at work in the place of other religions through the Spirit. There's a great value in believing that salvation is in Christ alone, while maintaining that the benefits of salvation have been made available to everyone because God reveals himself to all people. This inclusivist view maintains the uniqueness of the doctrine of the Trinity while still opening ways for dialogue with people of other faiths. But the weakness is that it is not exclusive and is a potential endangerment to the salvation doctrine of Christ alone. Finally, Karkkainen moves to a different perspective and considers three pluralistic theologians whose views widely differ but result in the same end. John Hick, Raimundo Paniker, and Mark Heim all use the Trinity in their own particular ways to facilitate their methods of explaining that God is present in all religions. It is argued that this type of stance diminishes the uniqueness of Christianity, that it dilutes the Christian faith as one of the many, and that it could weaken the doctrine of the Trinity and its special scope of Christian interpretation. But the other side of the coin, the strengths of maintaining that there are legitimate means of salvation found in other religions, is that it recognizes, finds value in, and provides understanding of the diversity of the wide variety of cultures and peoples groups. In a sense, this view reinterprets the doctrine of the Trinity in a broader sense and scope. The thoughts of the theologians presented and the critiques of Karkkainen are a great benefit for theological reflection. The views of exclusivists, inclusivists, and pluralists, both Catholic and Protestant alike, are all shared. No matter where one is on this spectrum, by reading this book, they can learn more about their position while still gaining insight into a variety of other stances. The main takeaway and importance of this book is the idea of open dialogue, to converse with those of other faiths, traditions, and perspectives. When we do so, we just might learn that there is more common ground than what we had originally thought. Karkkainen recognizes that in attempting to learn more of the God of other religions, we may find ourselves to be really learning more of our own God, in actuality to know and worship our own triune God more truthfully and richly.